Hello, everybody. Welcome back to, or for the first time, You Can Handle the Truth with your host, the Michigan Outlaw. Today we are going to be talking about a few things, all under one umbrella term, which comes straight from the mouth of the UN, if you will, for many, many years now. People are having a hard time believing it. A big chunk are on board. That's not even important at this point. I'm going to put out a few of the key issues in my opinion. And as I say every time, do some research into this stuff, folks. Whether you believe me or not, that's not important. What is important is that this is very real. The information is everywhere. They don't even hide it. So without further ado, what is Agenda 21 and all this other stuff? You know, they're talking about the Green New Deal and this and that and the other. Of course, you know, I got my socialist Marxist nonsense right here. Sustainability. They're always preaching on about sustainability. Sustainability is the artificial security under the guise of conservation. It is a behavior modification scheme through social engineering. There's that word again, or words. At its core, it is worldwide rationing. It is using less of everything, less food, water, energy, mobility, choice, and freedom. And there's our good old buddy, GB Senior, huh? Anyway, I want to look at that guy. I bring that up just because this is how they got people to buy into it many times. Not just buy into it, you know. The truth of the matter is, well, there's many truths here. Many parts of the truth, I guess I could say. Which is, obviously, we care about the planet. We care about Earth. This is where we live, right? And I hate to break it to you guys, but there are no other planets to go to. This is the one and only one. Now, that being said, there is so much food. The ozone's fine, or whatever the heck they're calling it these days. When I was a kid, it was the ozone layer. Then it was global warming. Now it's climate change. I don't know what they've changed it to today, but they play on our emotions because they say we pollute and this and that. You want to know who does the polluting? The military-industrial complex, the governments, mainly in third world countries, but ours do the same thing. You know, you guys know most of this stuff. I'm not going to waste your time going on and on. It drives me nuts because you hear people talking about how we're doing this, and they actually get people feeling bad about it, which most of us did for a long time until we realized it was nonsense, like the majority of the stuff they're pushing. Now, where it takes a really sinister turn, it's awful when they're trying to do this to, how can I even say it, to keep people from traveling too much or God knows what, you know? I don't know. But what they're doing and what they've had planned for many years is Agenda 21 is the big first one. It's all depopulation. They want to scale us down to these tiny little cities. Geez. Until these few, there's like 11 or 12 mega cities. Look this up. I wanted to put the map up, but then I had an issue with it, so I'm going to be taking stuff from a few different, I always do my research, obviously, but I pull it from a lot of areas. But there was two guys today, Tom DeWeese, I don't even know how to say his name, but it's Tom Deweese, and he wrote a really, really good article just laying all this stuff out. Another guy, what's this guy's name? Sorry about this, I have everything all set up and then you know how it goes sometimes. Oh geez, they're both from Tom, look at me today, I'm all mixed up. Yeah, so see, this dude is a forerunner and he's been going on about it for a long, long time. And he puts it in no uncertain terms. And let me repeat, although he's done much research, he's had his career evaporate essentially when he first came out with this stuff because people thought he was nuts, like all this other conspiracy, if you will, right? That's why I don't go by conspiracy theorist anymore. I'm a conspiracy analyst, especially after this latest, the Mueller investigation, all that stuff. You know, I say it too much. But either I can read the future, which I definitely cannot, or there seems to be a pattern or an agenda to this stuff, right? So, let's move on. I got a few little clips here. Not clips, but a few little areas. So, and I actually wrote this down because I do believe in giving credit to the people who have done a lot of the work. And this Tom guy has He sacrificed a lot. He puts a lot of work into this, and people should know who he is. That's one of the other, I'm not going to get sidetracked into this too far, but one of my biggest pet peeves with a lot of this stuff, because I hear people all the time saying, can we really change anything? Can we make a difference? And my short answer is, yes, I absolutely believe we can make a difference, and we are making a difference. At the end of the day, being a Christian like I am, I do believe a lot of this plays into prophecy, you know. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't do everything we can to protect ourselves and those that come after us, you know. And by after us, not just the people coming after us, but I mean, you know, future generations. That's the other, now they don't even want people having kids anymore because they have, oh, it makes me so mad. But anyway, Tom DeWeese's little, this is what he put under his name. He is one of the nation's leading advocates of individual liberty, free enterprise, private property rights, personal privacy, back to basics education, or the anti-dumbing down of America, and American sovereignty and independence. Of course, I put that dumbing down part in there. Gotta get to the beginning here, because I got a couple big articles. I don't want to just read this thing straight through, even though I might, because it's all stuff you need to know. But if you do want to look at his article, go right to the American Policy Center, Agenda 21, Sustainable Development, they call it. There we go, okay. It goes right along with Brexit. The UK doesn't want to be part, this isn't from that article, this is from a separate thing. The UK does not want to be part of the EU, European Union, and rejects a trade agreement with it. But now it seems like its only other option is to be part of the US. If it wants a trade agreement with the US, it has to accept their crappy drugs and crappy food, our crappy drugs and crappy food. You know, I'm going to keep getting pulled off as I do this all the time, but it's like the, got too much on my mind today. What is that stuff they're putting in our food to poison us with right now? The MGOs, whatever the hell it is. You know, America is the only place that eats that genetically modified GMOs. There we go. The genetically modified nonsense. They won't allow that crap in Europe because they know it's no good for people. You know, wake up, guys. Do not take offense to being duped or fooled by these people. They're good at it. They're professionals. Not to mention the fact that they're our government. You know, we not only wanted to trust these guys, we did trust them. Myself and many others have gone to war for these guys because we believed in what they were saying. But let's not digress too far. So now, this is just a little article about, the elite. I call them the self-titled. I'm not calling them the elites. They're not elite, nothing. The elite already have everything they want, and extracting more resources only benefits the middle class and poor. They control all the mining companies and try their best to not find anything. Oil is episodic. Probably said that wrong. Yeah, in case you didn't know, oil does not come from the breakdown of dinosaurs, like I was taught in school. I don't know about you guys, but there is so much oil. It's just like diamonds. I'm not going to say gold, because I don't know the numbers on that, but it's plentiful. They buy it, they hoard it, and they jack the prices up. And then they make you want it, right? And it's all this they may, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we are responsible for our actions and what we do. But if you don't know up until this point, we have been brainwashed and are continually brainwashed through TV, the media, all this other nonsense. Watch my other videos. So, this is where it's going into too. There are no fossils miles underground where oil is drilled. See, I guess I should have read further. Look for it near the olivine deposits. Oil fields are self-replenishing. There is also plenty of natural gas reserves and large groundwater aquifers in most regions, and no need for water shortages ever, or food shortages. These people are sick. They're not even people. They're evil. Okay. Now, the Green New Deal reveals the naked truth of Agenda 21. Now we're going to get into some of this. Make sure we're looking good here. I hope this sounds great. I've been having issues with my OBS, so I'm recording through my Elgato capture card, which is great. But I'm not playing a game, so my TV's off, so work with me here, folks. Okay. Sometimes, if you fight hard enough and refuse to back down, no matter the odds, your truth is vindicated and prevails. This is Tom talking now. For 20 years, he has been labeled a conspiracy theorist, a scaremonger, an extremist, a dangerous nutcase. He's been denied access to stages, major news programs, and awarded tinfoil hats, all because he has worked too close and too hard to expose Agenda 21 and its policy of sustainable development as a danger to our property rights, economic system, and culture of freedom, which it does all those things. Now, from its inception in 1992 at the United Nations Earth Summit, 50,000 delegates, heads of state, diplomats, and non-governmental organizations, NGOs, which are the big business people and all that nonsense, which big business is just getting bigger and bigger if you haven't noticed. They're shutting down everything, buying it up, shutting it down, putting up a dollar store and a Walmart, man. That's all you need in your town. We don't need any of that crap, honestly. But anyway, they hailed Agenda 21 as a comprehensive blueprint for the reorganization of human society. How about that, guys? You want to be reorganized? The 350-page, 40-chapter Agenda 21 document was quite detailed and explicit in its purposes and goals. Before I continue, that's another part about this stuff. I don't know how they have the balls to call anybody a conspiracy theorist when all you have to do is go on the UN website and read what they wrote. Watch the videos. I just seen this tall, blonde, crazy chick the other day she asked, do you really want to own a car? Do you really need to own personal property? Wouldn't you rather just let the government have all that and, you use it and get your little stipend every month? And no! Besides all the other issues with that right off the bat, and I always say it's the he who giveth can take it away. They're going to start forcing you to do everything else, or you can, the social credit nonsense. I'm not going to go into that right now, which that's coming as well with the 5G and whatever, but let's stay on topic. I apologize. It freaking frustrates me to no end because they're attacking the young people with this stuff because the world is outrageously overpriced on purpose, obviously. And when you're a kid with a ton of student debt and all that nonsense, I don't need to go into it. I use the word nonsense a lot because I don't want to swear. It looks good when you're a young person. There's a reason they're trying to drop the voting age down to 16 people. But anyway, let me keep going here. This video will take forever. Okay, so the document was quite detailed. They warned us that the reorganization would be dictated through all-encompassing policies affecting every aspect of our lives. One last other piece here. This is what the crazies on the left, spearheaded by that AOC lady, are talking about. They're going to use environmental protection simply as an excuse to pull at our emotions and get us to voluntarily surrender our liberties. Never. Section 1 details social and economic dimensions of the plan, including redistribution of wealth to eradicate poverty, maintain health through vaccinations and modern medicine, and population control. To introduce the plan, the Earth Summit chairman, Marie Strong, boldly proclaimed current lifestyles and consumption patterns of the affluent middle class. Golly, do they hate the middle class? They either want you rich or poor. Think about that for a second. Why do they want people to be either rich or poor? Well, because they're rich, and they don't want more people in that club, let me tell you what. But the poor are easy to control. They've been saying it for years, folks. Before, when there was mostly kings and queens and all that crazy shit running around. Oh, kill half the peasants. That way they don't have so much. They want to take this all on so they can have their one world government, their one world religion, their one world whatever else. I know there's one of them I'm missing there. But they can only freaking maintain so many people, right? Yeah. Anyway. Maybe they should stay out of my fucking business. And your business. Our business. How about that? And they wouldn't have to worry about this stuff. Now, where was I at? Okay, here we go. The affluent middle class, involving meat intake, use of fossil fuels, appliances, air conditioning, and suburban housing. They're just not sustainable, of course, according to the plan. If it's not sustainable, it must be stopped. In support of the plan, that's just what they were talking about too, the AOC nonsense. They know this stuff's never going to pass, so it makes me wonder what they're doing the whole look at the monkey thing for. Look over here, they're doing something over here. Freaking wizards and magicians. It's all evil. But, talking about, they've already shut the coal industry down. That evil son of a bitch, Barry, did that. But no, they want everybody to... They don't want us driving. They want us living in these giant mega cities, 10 by 30, which you can find those images online. There's the dude from New York standing in one of them with a lady. And I mean, it's smaller than the office I'm sitting in right now. And I'm a poor white guy. So, anyway, that's not important. Sorry, I lost my spot. In support of the plan, David Brower of the Sierra Club, one of the NGO authors of the agenda, said, "Childbearing should be a punishable crime against society unless the parents hold a government license." Yeah, that sounds fun, doesn't it? You know, they're killing all these babies. 2,500 a day, minimum, it seems, or I've been told. Many of them after the babies are born. And I believe they're doing this because they're sacrificing them to the God they worship, who isn't a God at all. It's a fallen angel. But the point I'm going here is that these people are evil. They hate families because families can defend each other and stand together, and they're not as easily to control. They want single moms. They want us to be poor and broke down so that we come running to them for answers. It's a cause solution. They cause an issue, and then guess what? They have the answer for it. Don't buy it, folks. They're going to push hard for this stuff. First they predictively program. They put this stuff in our TV shows and our movies. They start those shows like Tiny Houses or whatever the hell that is. I don't have cable, I don't know. But it's something about living in Connex boxes. And then they try to pass it off as cool. That's how they work. They do the same thing with all this transgender stuff with the children. They're doing that right now. And you watch, in a year or so, who knows, hopefully never, if we can fight them on this and keep it back. Of course we can fight them. But it's just my theory anyway, that they're trying to lower the age of consent. They're already doing it with voting. These people are sick, folks. Keep your eyes on them. Pray, and pray hard. Because we were not given a spirit of fear. Don't be fearful. Okay, so now, childbearing should be a punishable crime against society unless the parents hold a government license, just like China. Leading environmental groups advocated that the Earth could not only support a maximum of 1 billion people, leading to famed Dr. Jacques Cousteau to declare, "In order to stabilize world populations, we must eliminate 350,000 people per day." Or maybe they shouldn't take this evil shit upon themselves to do, right? Section 2 provides the conservation and management of resources for development. Now this is the part that pisses me off, it all pisses me off, but anyway. By outlining how environmental protection was to be their main weapon, tugging on our heartstrings, right? Because you don't want to be a polluter, including global protection of the atmosphere, land, mountains, oceans, and fresh waters. They have the balls to say that we're polluting and destroying anything, when they'll chop down 1,000 trees just to put up one of those disgusting 5G towers they're trying to microwave us with. Trust me, this has nothing to do with the environment. Anyway, including global protection of the atmosphere, land, mountains, oceans, and fresh waters, all under the control of the United Nations. To achieve such global control, to save the planet, of course, it is necessary to eliminate national sovereignty and independent nations. Yeah, I could go on for days about this. They call us nationalists and this and that. Well, guess what, folks? Me and many others, many others, oh my God, can you imagine? How many of us have fought for this country? And even if you haven't, is it a bad thing to say I'm proud to be an American? Because I was raised saying that, and the majority of us were. Lately, I don't know what is going on these last couple of years, but they started this little baby calling somebody a name, and I don't want to be called a person who loves their country. I mean a nationalist. Freaking psychopaths, man. They predictably program these words into us, and then they make you feel like a victim or the perpetrator. And either way, you better change your ways to fit with them. Yeah, that ain't gonna work for me, pal. Anyway, national sovereignty and independent nations. Eliminate national sovereignty and independent nations. Eliminating national borders quickly led to the excuse for openly allowing the natural migration of peoples. Yeah, guys, just wander around. Don't worry about it. Like they're letting everybody vote in our elections here in America. When I go on my honeymoon next August, I told the little lady, I go, hey, maybe we could find out, when we find out where we're going for sure, we should call ahead and see if we could get on the ballot so we can vote and blah, blah, blah. What are you talking about, man? Who the hell lets other people vote for their country? You have to be a citizen. That's insane. And back in the Roman days, only soldiers were allowed to vote. Well, veterans, because you were a citizen or a civilian. I'm not going to go down that road. But what sense does it make to let people with no interest in your country or only negative interests, not saying immigrants are negative, because I'm not that guy, and I'm not going to let them make me feel like that guy, but you know the world we're living in. It doesn't work that way. I'm still pissed off about the whole half of our Congress aren't even American. They have dual citizenship, and they say what place they're going for first, and I'm not going to name it here because then I'll get kicked off again. But I'll say this, they really enjoy their bagels. But yeah, when they say bagel land is first, over the country that they're standing in and supposed to be representing, and they're trying to pass laws so we can't protest any of the nonsense they're doing. Wake up, people. These folks are not for us. And what did I just read about this too? Because there was a word here with the natural migration of peoples. Because this conspiracy theory thing, they're always trying to knock it off, and because we're pulling at them, we're pushing their buttons when we actually hit things that they're doing, and they're like, whoa, 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 that's not the brainwashing. That could wake people up. Don't let them say that. Where the hell was it though? This whole global, the New World Order. That's what I was talking about. I talk about that constantly. That's what actually got me down this path in a lot of ways. But people say, oh man, that's bullshit. There's no New World Order, none of this. Oh, yes there is, and they've been here for many, many moons, my friends. And there's no New World Order, right? But they want to abolish national borders, sovereignty, independent nations. Why? Why, folks? Global economy, global control. Fun little, I don't even know how to word it. A fun little thought, I guess, is why do people, especially refugees, and why do people move to another country? Especially super poor people who have to come here with the only things they have on their back. There's a few different reasons. They may live in a poor country. They heard, this place is better, fine. A lot of people are war refugees. They're leaving socialist, all those disgusting, evil places, right? Socialist, Marxist, they're all the damn same. I can't even think of the communist. There you go. What happens when we're under social control? Where are you going to migrate to then? There won't be anywhere to migrate to. But to stay focused here, to achieve such global control, to save the planet, it is necessary to eliminate national sovereignty. An independent nation, I keep reading that part, it's going to give me a sec. The concept of national sovereignty has been immutable, indeed, a sacred principle of international relations. It is the principle which will yield only slowly and reluctantly to the new imperatives of global environmental cooperation. That pretty much explains why the supporters of such a goal go a little off the rails when the presidential candidate threatens what they did. And that's where, he makes this, President Trump make America again, great again. Jeez, you guys, I can't talk today. I apologize for that. But anyway, the main weapon for the agenda was the threat of the environmental Armageddon. Our buddy AOC there, once again, that was one of her first big news headlines was, she said, we got 12 years before the world is destroyed due to this man-made, shut up. I can't even listen to that woman. I don't know why I would anyway, but you should listen to both sides. Don't get stuck in these bubbles that YouTube and Twitter and all these other ones they put us in, because they don't want you to see the other side. They want you to think that everybody is agreeing, everything's going to move forward, and everything's going to be fine, right? No. We're not stupid people. We're just very easily led. And most people find this stuff so hard to believe is happening because it goes against everything we think. We don't think that the government's coming after us, or the government's trying to do this, or they're working with the enemy. We have such a great nation, such a huge nation of smart, strong, independent people with less and less of us every day. That the only way they could take the United States of America down is from the inside. Chew on that for a minute. Okay. I think we basically got everywhere we got to go here because I'm already at 25 minutes. Okay. The main weapon for the agenda was the threat of environmental Armageddon, particularly manifested through the charge of man-made global warming, later to conveniently become climate change. It didn't matter if true science refused to cooperate in this scheme, as actual globe temperatures really are not rising, and there continues to be no evidence of any man-made effect on the climate. Truth hasn't been important to the scaremongers. Timothy Worth, president of the United Nations Foundation, said, "We've got to ride this global warming issue. Even if the theory of global warming is wrong, we will be doing the right thing in terms of economic environmental policy." To further drive home their complete lack of concern for the truth, Paul Watson of Greenpeace declared, "It doesn't matter what is true. It only matters what people believe is true." And that's what I'm talking about. These people treat us like idiots. So let's prove them wrong. How about that? Lift our faces up out of our phones. Say hello to our neighbors. When you're out and about, make eye contact with some people, folks. Jeez. Not saying that towards you either. You know, if you guys are here listening to this, you're either coming to smash the channel or because you're interested. So God bless you. Somebody told me the other day that it's like I'm always yelling at the people that are listening. You know that's not that. I'm passionate about this, you guys. And I know you are too. And the ones that aren't, they're either against us or just they don't have the capacity to understand what is going on right now. So in their zealotry to enforce the grand agenda, social justice became the moral force over the rule of law, as free enterprise, private property, rural communities, and individual consumption habits became the targets, labeled as racist and social injustice. Such established institutions and free market economics were seen as obstructions to the plan, as were traditional family units, religion, and those who were able to live independently in rural areas. And there are many of us in the rural areas. Finally, Agenda 21 was summed up in supporting document this way: effective execution of Agenda 21 will require a profound reorientation of all human society unlike the world has ever experienced. It requires a major shift in priorities of both governments and individuals, and an unprecedented redeployment of human and financial resources. This shift will demand that a concern for the environment This shift will demand that a concern for the environmental consequences of every human action be integrated into the individual and collective decision making at every level. You know, this is why government can't get anything done. People have been saying that for 100 years, that if they actually had to work like the private industry, they'd be screwed. I mean, this is what they do. They drag their feet and just fuck around. It's so frustrating. Of course, such harsh terms had to be hidden from the American people. If the plan was to be successfully imposed, they called it a suggestion for voluntary action. It's always voluntary at first. They called it a suggestion for voluntary action, just in case a nation or community wanted to do something positive for mankind. Yeah, give up all your rights and live in a fucking shoebox. You know, if that was bad enough, or wasn't bad enough, however you say it, it'd be one thing if they were like, you know what? We're dumb as shit, so we're going to fucking say that global... Whatever, I'm not going to go down that road, but they want us to get stacked up on top of each other in these tiny 10 by 30 apartments and live in these mega cities with a huge population drop. Let me add, that part will be in part 2 of this episode. Now that I see I'm already hitting 30 minutes. There's a reason they want to do this, folks. Mixed with 5G, they don't want people living out in the country. They want us all to be in those cities where they can keep an eye on everything. This stuff is very real. Very real. Once again, I'm not a fearmonger. Do your research. If you look this stuff up and you think I'm crazy, then maybe I am. Because this stuff is everywhere with pictures, details, maps. Not only do they have those mega regions, those mega cities they want to smash us all into, AOC, there she is again, talked about that high-speed train they want to build, and guess what? It touches all those mega cities. And these maps from years and years before. So give me a break. AOC, what a jackass. So where was I at here? However, while using such innocent-sounding language, the Agenda 21 shock troops lost no time pushing it into government policy in 1992, just after its introduction at the Earth Summit. Nancy Pelosi, oh, that crazy son of a gun, introduced a resolution of support for the plan into Congress, It's interesting to note that she boldly called it a comprehensive blueprint for the reorganization of human society. In 1993, new President Bill Clinton ordered the establishment of the President's Council for Sustainable Development with the express purpose of enforcing the Agenda 21 blueprint into nearly every agency of the federal government to usher it became the law of the land. Then the American Planning Association issued a newsletter in '94 supporting Agenda 21's ideas as a comprehensive blueprint for local planning. So much for a voluntary idea, right? However, as we, the opponents, started to gain some ground in exposing its true purpose, and citizens began to storm city halls, protesting local implementation, suddenly the once proud proponents lost their collective memories about Agenda 21. They never heard of it. There are no blue helmeted troops at City Hall, they said. Yeah, and who's that frickin' one of the old skeletons they just got rid of? They can get rid of him, he died of old age, but I can't remember his name, the senator from Arizona. But yeah, he did the same thing. They all do. These folks are not on our side. Fight this stuff. Go to your city councils. I believe they may have changed the wording now, but it used to be ICLEI. ICLEI was the programs. If you see these, Portland, they have them. They're in like 5 or 6 different cities already, probably more. But you'll notice these buildings that are ugly as shit, perfectly square or rectangle. Tiny little apartments stacked up as high as they can put them with jobs right below, because that's their big grand plan for the people that they let live, right? Is they don't want you to be able to mess around. They want you to wake up, go straight down to their little job, or their slave employment, whatever they want to call it. Whatever. I don't need to write all that stuff out, but... Anyway, I'm going to cut this one off here. It's 32 minutes long. I appreciate everybody for listening. Please look into this stuff, folks. If you like the video, check thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Any questions, comments? You want to call me crazy? You got any, leave me something down there. I appreciate it. God bless you all and your families. Stick up for each other.